First here tonight to the politics, and we're about to learn a lot about the Democratic presidential field. The Iowa caucuses officially starting in about 90 minutes. And tonight, for the first time, people living here in Florida and the Tampa Bay area are getting a chance to have their voices heard. Michael Paluska leading us off tonight.
So yeah, it's a little interesting to think of an Iowa caucus here in Florida, but that's what's happening. A lot of people are already out here campaigning. These are mostly Floridians, and then behind me going into this church is where the Iowans are going, and they'll be staging in the next couple of minutes or so, and then have that closed-door caucus. We're outside now, and we're on tape because Susan McManus, they told us that if we go into that room where they're caucusing, they probably won't let us out. A caucus in Florida. What are you thinking right now?
As one woman told me, history in the making. She was so excited. She said he'd never missed a caucus back home, but she was here and she was just thrilled that they agreed to have satellite caucuses.
They said that somebody drove 200 miles to be here. It's the first time in the history of the Democratic Party in Iowa doing this. What does this really mean for the country?
Well, it's a recognition that a lot of people can't physically go to a caucus. They're either, in a nursing home or an ALF facility, or they're in some distant country on American business, all of those things. So the whole purpose of the satellite caucuses, and there are 80 some across the country and some out of the country, is to broaden participation for Iowans, to let those who would really want to be engaged and weigh in on their favorite Democratic candidate to be able to do so at a setting that is good for them.
Caucuses are kind of confusing. They do it a little differently, but tonight this could mean a lot for the country and who is the Democratic nominee moving forward, right? How will this all shake out? Depending on who's picked.
What happens tonight is whoever does well statewide will be gathering pledged delegates that will go to the Democratic National Convention in Milwaukee. So tonight's caucuses all over are about selecting delegates to the National Democratic Convention in Milwaukee. So it's very, very important. And ironically, Iowa, which goes first, is important because it is first, but it only will have 1% of the total delegates to the Democratic National Convention. But yet, $44 million have already been spent on television ads in Iowa. Caucuses all over, the excitement is sky high, and they're projecting that there will be a record turnout of Iowans participating in this year's caucuses.
So the 2020 election kicks off in Iowa and right here in Florida, and will be a battleground state as well. Thank you, Dr. Susan McManus. We'll send it back to you. We'll keep you posted on how things shake out here at this Iowa caucus in Florida. In St. Petersburg, Michael Paluska, ABC Action News.
And our newsroom will be monitoring the caucus votes tonight, and as soon as those results start to come in, we'll send a push alert out to your phone through our free mobile app. Meanwhile, tomorrow, President Donald Trump addressing the nation, and you can watch the State of the Union address Tuesday at 9 p.m. right here on ABC Action News and our streaming news channel, which of course is available on Roku, Amazon, Fire TV, and Apple TV.